Okay, hey, my name is Antonio Derm. Right now, I'm receiving my. This is my son, Royal. Uh, right now, I'm receiving my master's in adult education and training. And this particular subject, is about workplace anxiety. I made this presentation on the subject because of my environment and how I interact with my employees. So, hope you like it. It's great content, and I hope it take me far, which I know it will. I'm in a great class right now, so let's do it. So this is one thing that bothers me about organizations and hey, you want to get in the camera? Okay. This is one thing that bothers me about organizations that does not care about how they interact with their employees. So you have employees that really that they come in with experiences, but people don't take advantage of those experiences and let the people be creative. So we have to look at the people over process theory. You don't put process over people because that's how you fail as a company. So what I want to do, I want to be a part of change for an organization to succeed. That way, we can get the employees to actually work towards a shared vision. That was good, right? So in a couple of different slides, I will be sharing some stress relievers, how you can find your voice in the workplace. Um, what we want to do is teach the guys, teach different men because like it starts at home. Like I say, the fathers. To me, honestly, I'm a father. You know, of two. If you want to get in a little bit, the way they can see your face. I'm a father of two, so I'm. It's very important that we're able to go home from work peacefully and raise home without having stressors. So that's my objective. I want to be able to help men so that they will not, go home and just, be, hey, be a good husband, be a good father. That's my goal to help the employees be better. So on this, why this training matters? Because I want to teach men how to find your voice. And like I said, so it says many men experience workplace anxiety, but struggle to express concerns. I've ran across a lot of employees that they do not know how to express their concerns. They do not know how to be creative. They do not know how to give ideas. So their voice is tarnished. I want to be able to make that aspect shine. Um, I want to help them out. So this training is for employees. I know I know I made it for men, but at the same time, it's like you know anybody can advance from this right here. But I just want to, like I said, I'm just talking for the men, you know, and I want to be able to be a part of growth for the men. So today's the learning objectives. I say define workplace anxiety. That's important because when you're at work, any workplace, you need to know what the red flags look like. You need to know what's gonna help your growth. You need to know what's gonna help your just be able to move around in the workplace and not have any stressors. And you got to know how to speak up and know your worth. That's a big thing. Um, Identify optimistic versus pessimistic thinking. If you're the type of person that say, "Hey, I won't be able to do this," I want to be able to help that too as well. I want to help you build that confidence to know that, hey, I can do it. I will do it. Once you say I won't do it or I can't do it, that's you got to know that you can. We got to build that confidence. So I'm looking to help build that confidence. So I like to teach by definition. I like for you to dig into the surface. I don't like scratching the surface. So When we look at the definition, workplace anxiety is persistent stress, fear, or worry that affects communication, confidence, and job performance. That's a big definition. That means a lot. Like you can say anxiety, you can, we can just say anxiety, but really, you got to know what it means. You got to know how it affects your life, and you got to know how it affects your confidence. So we're gonna keep going and keep digging in. We're gonna keep digging in. We're gonna keep going down these rabbit holes. That way we know what's going on. So what are we learning today? By the end of this course, by the end of this training, we gotta know. We gotta know what we're learning. So we're gonna learn how to handle workplace anxiety by voicing needs, express opinions professionally. That's a very challenging thing for some people because it's like you don't know how to speak to upper management. You don't know how to speak to your supervisors, and you think that they are better than you. They go home just like you. They go home and eat just like you have to. So we got to know how to talk to these guys, express your feelings and concerns, confidently. Looking at increased confidence, that's what I'm talking about. Identify personal strength. So when you go into, you got to know that when you go to a job, you bring special experiences. Don't let anybody think or you tell you what your experience is going to be like. You have to know your strong points. You got to know all your strong points. That way you can move around in confidence. Improve job satisfaction. That's what it does. When you have confidence, it improves your job performance. So we have trainer solutions. What trainers can do, help communication coaching. Really, that's a big thing too. You got to know how to communicate. You got to know when to communicate. When do you know how to communicate? Not when something bad is happening. Actually, sometimes you know when something good is happening. I communicate a lot. I have my guys communicate every time something is coming up. If something coming up, I want you to communicate. Even when I'm at home, hey, communicate. I want you to communicate when you feeling creative. I want you to communicate when you feeling defeated. That way we can come up with a solution. I like some people they talk themselves into a solution. And that's something that you can do. So always communicate when you feel any kind of way. It doesn't always have to be when you're upset. Sometimes you can go home and just write something. You can go write a journal, come back and communicate. What organizations can do to help employees, to have a peace of mind? You can actually train leadership to be leaders. What I say, if organizations are made aware of this and they encourage staff to seek appropriate mental health care as per need. That's big because you never know. I had the story of a guy that come to work every day, smiling every day, but he was always stressed. But he always had a smile on his face, and he took himself out. We don't know what people are going through. We don't know what type of problems they have. So if you have someone who's just being just a bad person to an employee, you don't know what type of mind frame these guys have. So just keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind. How can communication reduce stress? Because you can get it off your chest. Like anything that, like you can actually be the leader. Help the leader. The leader. Just because there's a leader that you have, like just because you have a leader, does not mean that everybody is a leader. Sometimes people can lead to certain things, right? So I like to treat everybody as a leader. Everybody has a task, and you have to make everybody feel important. You have to make people feel important. You have to make people feel as if they are a part.
Leadership. Communication barriers. Fear of criticism. Low confidence, negative thinking, lack of trust, fear of mistake.
Okay, like my son was just reading to you. I conducted a learning lab. I put together a learning lab thanks to my school, University of Phoenix. I did a learning lab, and so I put together a analysis, learning analysis, and some of the guys they answer every question possible. Some of them didn't answer a lot of the question, but some of the questions that I seen, um, how I think one of the question was how what was it? Who who did you call on? Who did you basically what it was saying was who helped you with the project along the way? And a lot of people said well they left it blank. So that tells me that there's a lack of trust somewhere. Like we like just if it's blank, when I look at it, if it's blank, somewhere you don't trust somebody. So now we have to figure out how we can make the employee trust the leadership, upper management, so that they can get help. We'll figure that out. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think about optimistic?
Optimistic is something that you actually can do, like you can take action of it. And pen,
Pessimistic. What do you think? What if somebody's being pessimistic? What are they doing?
they're focusing on their problems instead of their successions.
That's right. So we have to learn how to be more optimistic. I tell my guys all the time. When you're being optimistic, I want you to say, hey, we're gonna make this work. We're going to make this work. Be more optimistic. Pessimistic, hey, we're not gonna be able to do this. I know I can't do it. I know I can't make it work. The thing is, that's a part of confidence. Building confidence is one of those things to where if you go into the workplace is, hey, I know I can do this. I know I'll be able to do this. All I have to do is learn it. And even if you say, hey, I can't do it right now, but I'll learn it. I'll make sure it gets done. That's what we have to do. How to develop your voice. This is a big thing. So this is the part where we understand. So you know, I want to teach you how to develop your voice, and just a couple words. So what I did, I broke down how to. Everybody don't know how to develop a voice, so we're gonna go over a couple slides. So speak with confidence and professionalism. When you speak with confidence, people know that you can get the job done, or they respect you more. Like it's a different type of respect when someone just speaks with confidence and professionalism. You don't want to go to someone and not know what you're talking about. They say communicate solutions, not just problems. That's a part of optimism versus pessimistic. Communicate solutions, not just problems. That's big. No judging. Who needs to judge? Like I honestly think that when you see somebody in the workplace and you have that person just say, hey, I don't like the way they're doing stuff right here. Hey, but you have to worry about yourself and how maybe you guys could collaborate. It's all about collaboration. No judging. Ask thoughtful, purpose-driven questions. Everybody has to be on a shared vision. Everybody has to be on a shared vision. So this is just a couple things. I need to just, we have to break all these down. We have to break all these down so you can understand it. That's why I say I want to teach you by definition. The definitions. We're going to learn by definition. So please just take time to, maybe I have to pause it. Well, you can pause it, just pay attention to all this right here. And just, if you have to just go and reflect, just reflect on times where, something didn't work or just, how have your workplace anxiety affect your confidence? Analyze mental health issues. This is big. Like I say, we talked about this a couple slides back. This is big. You don't know how your leadership is affecting the employees. We don't know that. We don't know that. So we have to evaluate. We have to assess the workers, the employees inside the like. This is big. Assess the prevalence of workplace stress. Identify workplace stress. You won't know that until you get to know the individual. You won't know that. And we have to care for these people. I mean, that does a lot for the ROI. It does a lot for job performance. Not only that, it does a lot for the people.
Setting boundaries, protect the time, say no, respectfully, avoid burnout.
So this is important. Setting boundaries is a big part of protecting your peace. Protecting your peace is it's important, and you can do that by sometimes you can tell say no. You tell I mean like I said this a couple slides back. No one is better than you. Everybody is working together towards a shared vision. Nobody's better than you. Nobody's better than you. Just because somebody has a position, you can respectfully say no. You can say, hey, when you work overtime, you don't need to just come out and say yes just because it's gonna make somebody else happy and comfortable. What about you? You have to know. You have to know your worth. Say no respectfully and avoid burnout. You can burn yourself out by going to work doing overtime all the time just because it makes other people comfortable. Yes, your home life, that matters too as well. But we have to know how to set boundaries. So if we look at the reflection, you got to ask yourself a couple questions. We're just going to go with a couple questions. What part of your job gives you the greatest sense of purpose? Purpose is very important. If you're going around and not having a purpose, just living life with no purpose, especially going to work with no purpose, you don't even know why you're doing what you're doing. That's another stress. Stress causes sickness as well. High blood pressure, diabetes. It causes a lot of problems. Just being stressed, depression. It's all the same. Workplace anxiety, workplace depression, workplace sickness. We got to know how to overcome all of these problems. Workplace anxieties, any kind of anxiety. You don't have to worry. Like I say, my name is Antonio Durham, future educator. Still, I'm an educator now, actually. A master of adult education and training. Hey, I'm coming. One day I will be on TEDx or something like that. I will be there. I got work to do, but I will be there. But I appreciate you guys for paying attention. Tuning in. Thank you very much. You want to say bye? All right. Well,
I got one more thing to tell y'all. We're gonna make. If y'all seen that presentation that I made, that Sweet Truth vid, if y'all watching that, I'm gonna say thank you for all y'all that liked, because y'all made me get almost like 100 views in one day or in one video.
Good job. All right, thank you.